It seems relations between the Chief of Defense Forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is also the son of the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, and also the German ambassador, who is called Matthias Schauer, have gone really sour, because we now see that not only the European Union go to see the uncle of the Chief of Defense Forces, Salim Saleh, to ask that Muhoozi Kainerugaba stop with his tweets, but now we see that now Matthias Schauer, who is the German ambassador, meaning the top diplomat in Uganda concerning Germany, is now being accused of trying to mount an insurrection and also trying to take down the government of Uganda. Well, in this edition of Legal News Daily, I'm going to discuss, number one, the implications of all of this. Number two, what are the reasons between the sour relations of Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the CDF, and also Matthias Schauer? And most importantly, what are the implications of Matthias Schauer being accused of this crime? And most importantly, what does the law say about Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the CDF, cutting ties with the German government in terms of military defense? So, welcome to Legal News Daily, and let's discuss all of this moving forward. Hello everyone, welcome back to Legal News Daily. I'm your host Terry Kahuma on this channel, and Legal News Daily is our daily legal news segment where we discuss all things legal based, both nationally in Uganda, regionally, internationally. This is actually an international edition where we have an intersection between international and national. Straight to the point, we now see that not only did the European Union delegates go and visit the leader of the National Unity Platform, Bobi Wine. Now, after this event, we now see that the Chief of Defense Forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is also the son of the president, was not happy with this. He put on his X tweet saying that, you know what, I'm not happy with the European Union delegation going to see Bobi Wine, who is considered an enemy of the government, and now I'm going to try to expel you from my country. Me and my father have a right to expel you, unquote. Now, according to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, we see that, first of all, a diplomat cannot be touched by a host state, meaning that a diplomat enjoys statuses like being or having the right to come in and out of the receiving country. So in this case, Germany is the sending country that sent Matthias Schauer, who is the diplomat representing Germany. Henceforth, he's called an ambassador. That's why he's called the German ambassador. And therefore, we have Uganda also being the receiving state. So now, it means that between Germany and Uganda, they need to have very, very good relations. And therefore, Matthias Schauer and the government have to be in sync or in tandem. Now, if the Chief of Defense Forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, is saying that, indeed, I am not happy with the German ambassador because he is trying to mount an insurrection. Mounting an insurrection means he is being involved in anti-terrorism activities where he's now trying to bring down the government of Uganda. Now, when we see the kind of actions that Matthias Schauer is going through, we see that for the CDF to actually have accused him of this, then evidence must be brought against Matthias Schauer. It must then be proved that indeed the German ambassador is trying to mount an insurrection against the government of Uganda. But now, when we visit and go back to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Status or the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, we see that every diplomat now meaning an ambassador, and this is where Matthias Schauer lies under, meaning that an ambassador is or has immunity or is immune from criminal prosecution. We all know that terrorism is something that that majority of Ugandans are now being accused of, the likes of Dr. Kizza Besigye, the likes of Abed Lutale, and now we see that now Matthias Schauer is also being accused of terrorism. But now, according to the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, we find that Matthias Schauer is protected under that Vienna Convention, meaning every ambassador has a right or is immune from criminal prosecution. Terrorism, of course, is a criminal act, and therefore it has the toughest sentence possible in the land. Now, when we look at the estranged relations, we now see that, yes, Matthias Schauer cannot be touched by the government of Uganda. However, this is what the government can do. The fact that the CDF, who is the Chief of Defense Forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, has said that, you know what, I'm actually cutting ties. Now the UPDF, me being the CDF, now I'm assuming his position. Chief of Defense Forces have now said that we are now, me as a CDF, I'm now saying that the Uganda People's Defense Forces is cutting all defense ties and relations with the government of Germany. So is he within his right to do that? Yes. And also, to make it worse, the government of Uganda, meaning the receiving state, according to international laws and diplomatic relations, has a right to expel a sitting ambassador of that particular country. So now in this case, the German ambassador is the sitting ambassador of this particular country, which is Uganda. So therefore, according to international law, we have what's called persona non grata, meaning that the receiving state, being Uganda, has every right to expel a sitting ambassador, meaning that now Muhoozi Kainerugaba, if he goes into a lot of deep talks with his father, Museveni, he can now go ahead and push out the German ambassador, requesting the German government to bring another ambassador who will not be so controversial. So this is all what Muhoozi Kainerugaba is saying. Now, persona non grata means that if a receiving state is not happy with the already existing ambassador, then they have a right to send that ambassador and expel them and bring another ambassador who will foster relations between the receiving state, which is Uganda, and the hosting state, which is Germany. So I wanted to bring all of that to you. A lot of relations have been strained, but the most important thing I wanted you to know, according to the laws of Uganda, is the laws of Uganda may actually not work here. But according to diplomatic ties, especially the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, no ambassador or no diplomat who is representing a country should ever be prosecuted in the receiving state. So if he's facing charges of terrorism, then the best kind of remedy or the best way is to just expel him and take him back to his host country, which is Germany. So these are two principles: persona non grata, where a particular ambassador or diplomat who is representing that country can be expelled, or also another legal principle I want to teach you here is that every ambassador enjoys what's called diplomatic immunity and diplomatic status. So I wanted to explain all of that to you. Just know that in law we have the domestic law, which now, for example, is the laws of Uganda, and we also have international laws, where we have the United Nations charters, United Nations conventions, and the Vienna Convention, which also includes diplomatic status and ties. Well, let's just see where things go moving forward. I remain yours truly, Terry Kahuma. It is very sad that the European Union, the Western world, the American embassy is going head to head and having sour relations with our very own country, but let's just see where things go moving forward. Please let me know what I should talk about in a future video. For God and my country, I remain yours truly, Terry Kahuma, and bye-bye. Good?